This is rainfall over the last 30 days. Note that we have had some significant rains from southern Minnesota across northeastern Iowa, across northern Illinois, and over the last week these rains have really been heavy across much of Illinois and across much of Indiana, or particularly northern half of Illinois, I should say, not much of Illinois, much of Indiana. But when you spread that out over 30-day versus normal, it makes it not look as quite as ominous. Basically a generally dry pattern with some areas that have had excessive rain, high rainfall amounts. This is a quick drought response index. It's a relatively new tool, and you can see the sponsors who are behind this tool. The drought monitor, which I'll show you in a little bit, takes a long-term view of rainfall and soil moisture supplies, but it really doesn't pick up the potential for a flash drought. And this is a year when we are vulnerable to a flash drought because we've been getting along now with below normal rainfall for quite some time. And we've been getting enough timely rains. Yes, we do have some areas with crop stress, but over the bulk of the Midwest, timely rains have kept us going. But we're really vulnerable to a flash drought right here across the southern half of the Midwest and across many areas of the northwestern Midwest, particularly with the above normal temperatures. If that rainfall would kind of shut up for a period of time, very quickly crops could be under stress. We'll look at the chances of that and what Commodity Weather Group thinks. Here's a drought monitor, long-term drought, pretty much focused there again on the plains, northern plains, as well as Kansas southward, much of the hard red winter wheat belt from Kansas south and westward. Stretching into southern Iowa and northern Missouri a bit and parts of Illinois. Most, not all, but most of those areas have had some rains here of late there in Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois. Growing degree days. You got to pick a date on growing degree days when you're picking one for the Midwest. I picked May 1 because that's when we had a lot of corn planting going, plus or minus 4 or 5 days either side of May 1. So I picked May 1. And you can see growing degree day accumulations there with the warm temperatures we've had. And if you look at this relative to normal, it's been above normal, especially Missouri, Illinois, southeast Iowa, really much of the Ohio River Valley, much above normal accumulation of growing degree days. That's really helped this crop turn from a late crop to a normal time crop, and now even in many areas ahead of normal as far as maturity on corn. Soybeans are more day length sensitive, but for the corn it's really speeding it up. Okay, this is a 1 to 5 day, 6 to 10 day, 11 to 15 day maps for temperatures and precipitation. Note that the bias continues to be to continue to linger the heat. We kept expecting the heat to abate in early June, and we keep pushing that back now, and now we're pushing it back into late June, the heat continuing, which is greenhouse conditions if you have enough moisture. So we'll focus now on moisture. If you don't have enough moisture, then you start getting the stress. If you look at moisture really over the 1 to 5 day, we've got a lot of dry areas across the center of the Midwest. Some rains to the south, which are much needed, and some rains to the north. 6 to 10 day fills those all in, except this dry area here in northern Missouri, northeast Kansas. We're in the Kansas City area. It seems like we've been missing all the rains. Into southeast Iowa. Most everyone else gets good rains. Maybe North Dakota's dry. Most everyone else gets good precipitation in the 6 to 10 day. 11 to 15 day, it pulls back once again. But overall, this is not a threatening forecast. It just means that those rains have to remain timely because we don't fill up the soil reserves. We just kind of keep feeding the crop on a timely basis.